What is up, everybody? If you like the content I put up, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave me a comment below letting me know what you think of today's video. What's up, everybody? So recently I've been getting a lot of requests to show a fast way to do crowns. I've done this video in the past before, but I guess people just want an updated version, I suppose. So I'm going to do that really quick. Realistically, anybody should be able to complete crowns under 10 minutes. If you're taking longer than 10 minutes, then maybe we're not doing something right. So I'm going to show you how I do my crowns. A couple things that I want to point out, though, is that when I'm doing my crowns, I'm trying to maximize my resources. So there's a lot of ways you can do crowns easily by just spamming a few of the dungeons and stuff like that, or you could also just like enter a PvP match and quit the PvP match. It'll count towards the quest to actually do PvP, to like attempt a PvP, because it says here attempt PvP rate, so you don't even have to win. So realistically, like, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but for me, typically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use as little stamina as possible. I'm trying to maximize the amount of gold that I'm going to get, and I'm trying to, if I can, at least get ether if it's available to me. So what I'll do is this. Usually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with PvP. So I'm going to go straight to my dungeon. And just for the sake of the video, I'm going to not do raids. But usually I'll just do 4 raids. And if I'm in a really, really big hurry, I might not do my far right raid. I might just take an easy raid really quick just to get out of the way really quickly. I don't really get a lot of easy options, but typically what I'll do after that, for those of you that don't know, there is a way to speed up the game. And that's by exiting out of a replay. So typically what I'll do is after I do my 4 matches, I'll come right here. I'll go to my replay. And you can do this with any replay. You can go to the Boss 100 and do a replay if you don't have any of your own replays. Then what you're going to do is go down here to the bottom left. You're just going to exit out. And now your game will be sped up. So now everything else you do is going to be a lot faster. So again, just for the sake of time, this is going to just speed everything up and make it so even your quick loots are going to be faster. After I do that, what I do is I go straight to campaign. Now you're going to have to run 3 of a bunch of different color dungeons. So usually what I'll do, because I'm trying to maximize the amount of gold I'm getting, is I'll switch immediately over to challenge mode. And then I like to go to chapter 14. I like to go to chapter 14 because typically, like I mentioned before, I'm trying to get some ether. So what I'll do is, you have a quest to run 3 forest dungeons, and forest includes this Raiders Camp one. So what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll do a quick loot. And if I get tokens, I'll move to the next one. If I don't, I'll quick loot again. So in this case, I got tokens. So this is going to give me some ether. So I'm just going to skip to the next one, knowing that I need to do 3. And even though I didn't get tokens, I'm still going to move on because I've already completed that quest. And I just do the same thing for the colors. I like chapter 14 because it has basically all the different colors that I need. So I'll come over here to blue. I'll move on. You'll notice there's not another blue, and I'll explain what I do in a second here. So then I'll move on to red. And then I'll move on from red down to crypt. Crypt is one of the ones that you need to do 3 of. So I'll do maximum, I'll do 2 of these. And same with the red. I'll save 1 red, and I'll explain why in a second here. But even if I don't get tokens here, I'm going to move on, which I did. So each time I'm doing this, I'm getting ether, and I'm at least getting some gold. I'm getting more than I would get in normal mode. So again, I'm just trying to maximize. Now what I'll do is I'll come over here. I'll just scroll over to the left over here, and I'll go to ice if I didn't finish the ice on in chapter 14. And every single one of the ones in this island are blue. So no matter, it's just fast for me to just click on it. Then what I'll do is I'll come over here to the gold island. And I'll use this because it's going to use 0 of my stamina. So I'm going to quick loot this, again, using as little stamina as humanly possible. And then I'll do a red one as well. You could also theoretically do a red regular dungeon if you don't want to use an extra quick loot key, but I don't really mind that much. And then I'll come down here, and these are all crypt dungeons here in the XP island. So typically I'll click on the 0 stamina XP dungeon, because again, now I've not used stamina twice, which is ideal. And I'll use this typically for my manual run. But before I do that, usually I'll come back, and one of your quests is to craft, one of your quests is to upgrade runes, and one of your quests is to salvage some runes. So I'll go over here into craft. Now, typically what I do for the sake of speed is I'll just do some evos. As you can see, I've got tens of thousands of them. So I'll just do 3 of these. But if you want the cheapest thing that you can possibly use for crafting, what you're going to want to do is come over here to materials, and you're going to go to rune shards. Rune shards cost the least amount of gold to craft of anything in your, of any other option that you have. So you'll notice these are 5,000 gold. So I'll just craft. The problem for me is that it's hard for me to craft because I'm maxed out on most of these. So just, again, for the sake of just showing you guys the video, now we're all crafted up. Great. Then I'll come over here to runes. And because we ran a bunch of dungeons, we for sure have a few runes to salvage. So I'll just usually just scroll to the bottom. I don't remember which ones I ended up having runes on. Here's one. Normally you keep track of it while you're doing it. I was talking and I kind of lost track of which ones I was getting runes from. So now that's complete. And then usually, I almost always have a rune that I need to work on. I leave some of them unleveled up so that I have something that I can do for my Crowns quest. But again, if we're trying to maximize resources, what we're going to do instead is we're just going to upgrade the lowest rune that you have, because it's going to cost the least amount of gold. As you'll notice, it's 16 gold. So I can literally upgrade this 5 times, and it's going to cost me nothing. And then I can even use that for my salvage quest if I feel like it. And then, like I mentioned before, what did we do? Oh, no, we completed all of that. Great. So now that we've completed all of that, the only thing left is to purchase something in the shop. Well, let's just knock these out so we can take a look real quick. All that should be left is the crypt dungeon, which we are going to do in a second here, the raids, which I was pretending like I already did, and purchase something in the shop. So for the sake of resources, typically when I go to purchase something in the shop, what I'll do is I'll come over here to items, and I'll get this 50 stamina. This is free stamina. All you have to do is watch a video. So I'll click on it, an ad comes up, and you just watch the ad for 20 seconds or so, 20 or 30 seconds, I think it's 20 seconds, and you get 50 free stamina. That covers all the stamina that you use to go run the rest of the crown dungeons and leaves you some extra left over, which is a pretty good deal. I usually don't do the other ads every single day, but if you're free to play or lower level or you're really hurting for gold, also come over here to the gold section, and then you can watch 3 ads for 90,000 gold. But typically, even though I have tons of stamina, will always do the 50 free stamina a day. It's ridiculous not to, and that's a super, super good deal. I'll come back here, and then to finish it off, I'll go over to the campaign, and I'll run this dungeon that we talked about here. And the reason, just so you know, the reason I don't do it immediately is because that sped up game that we did earlier at the beginning of the video, that goes away once you do a dungeon. You have to go re-speed up the game. So I like to knock out all of my, like, salvaging the runes and doing all that stuff. I like to knock that all out while I still have it sped up. You don't really have to do it. It doesn't really change your time that much. It changes it by maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, but probably not even that much. Now, as far as running this dungeon, I run 1 manual dungeon and that's it. And that's so that I can use a friend, because that's one of your crown quests as well. So usually what I do is I put Furnace first, and then I put Ponty next, and then because he does an AoE attack for his epic attack, and then Theron as well, because his epic attack is an AoE, and same with Cobalt. But I run Furnace first because even if you don't have any runes on him, if you're running the 0 stamina dungeon, you're going to wipe out anything with every basic attack. So I just run in, again, just for the sake of speed. If you're just trying to do this fast and knock these out, if, like, you got to run to the bathroom and that's the only time that you have all day to like do your crowns, if you're at like a family function or something, you can just come down here really quick, pick whoever you want, cool, and then just press auto attack on basic, and you'll be done with this in 2 seconds. You could also run another dungeon manual if you want to have the ability to click on sparklies for stamina, which I highly recommend. This is just my force of habit. I always do this one, but I guess realistically I probably should do a different dungeon, so that way if I click on sparklies it can give you some stamina, because in this dungeon if you click on sparklies it just gives you XP potions. But if you need XP potions, there you go, it's a good way to get them. But at this point we would basically be done. Had I done those PvP quests, or those PvP matches, we would be done by now. So that took us 9 minutes, even with me explaining everything in detail, and if I would have clicked on the ad to purchase something in the shop. But we would be done by now. if I wouldn't have been explaining everything. So you should be able to do this really, really fast. There's no way this should take you more than 10 minutes. Unless you're just taking a really long time on those PvP matches. But even so, it's really easy to do these fast, but it's also easy to be gaining stuff back while doing them. So it shouldn't just be, you know, a waste of resources. You actually, at the end of doing your crowns, you should have an excess of resources, more than what you started with, if you're doing it correctly. But anyways, I don't want to keep this video long. Hope this helps. I'll talk to you guys soon. What is up, everybody? If you like the content I put up, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave me a comment below letting me know what you think of today's video.